Let's rock.
Hey shitters. Glad to have you guys back.
Welcome to Nerd Shit in the Dark, the shittiest podcast on the internet.
Right here, coming from a cozy basement,
A cozy bunker,
a cozy bunker
deep underground,
that you'll never find.
and you'll never care to look.
Nope. Because we don't really have a lot of things to steal.
Yeah, there's nothing in this basement worth stealing.
No.
Certainly not my $700 Star Destroyer Lego set.
No, how'd you even steal that?
That'd be tough to steal.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
You'd have to disassemble it and then reassemble it.
Right. I mean, I guess if I wasn't home, you could easily steal it. But if I am here, I'm going to see you taking that.
It's going to be my mission one of these days is to try and steal it without you noticing.
I'll fucking kill you. Oh,
Just have it in the trunk of my car.
You'd need to bring like a truck and put it in the bed of the truck.
How heavy is it?
It's not like ridiculously heavy, but it is.
It looks cumbersome.
I wouldn't want to like. I picked it up and put it on there.
There's
know what
definitely
I mean?
no hiding what it is if you're trying to carry it out somewhere.
No. And I think your best bet would to have. You'd need two people.
Be like, this is my bazooka that I have in this bag right here.
Nothing to worry about. I just bring my bazooka everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
About the size of a bazooka.
How come you've never showed me your bazooka before?
I just never thought, I'd bring it up. I just bring it.
You just bring the bazooka and leave it in a bag?
I bring the
in a
bazooka
bag?
for self-defense,
Oh,
mainly.
okay. And you've never needed to use self-defense?
Not so far, no.
So that.
But if I do, I have a bazooka to whip out
Mhm.
right then and there. And a bazooka wins most fights.
And you wouldn't think I'd be like, hey, could I see the bazooka real quick? And you'd be like, no.
No, I would be like, no, because I'm only allowed to bring it out for self-defense. That's the license I got. The bazooka license.
Wow. Yeah, well, if you did that.
It's concealed carry, so
Yeah.
I can't take it out of its pouch.
Unless it's time to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you did all that, you could probably steal it. But other than that. But there's a lot of other Lego. Like, of my Legos that you could steal, that's the most difficult one.
Yeah, that's what makes it the prize, though.
That's true.
That's what like a true thief would want to
Right.
go for.
Yeah,
They don't go.
that's
True thief could steal some random gems here and there, but they want to go after the Hope Diamond. You know what I'm saying? They want the big one.
Yeah. And of my Lego sets, that is the one. I just want somebody to know that they're a thief. Even you, since you're the thief in this scenario.
Right.
I'll fucking hunt you down and kill you to get it back.
Well, that's also
You better actually have
That's
a
also the
decent
challenge
bazooka.
of a thief is to throw the scent off, so you wouldn't even know it's me, even though I'm telling you that it's me planning this right now.
Right. Somebody else could steal it, and I'll kill you thinking it's you.
Right. That actually, this would be the perfect setup for
Mm-hmm.
an actual thief to come and try and steal it because they have a natural alibi,
So we're not going to tell you.
a natural fall guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you'll never find our bunker.
No. But if you do, there's some cool fucking Legos and a lot of cool stuff. My basement's rocking.
Yeah.
But that's not what's important here or there.
I was just gonna say one of the movies I have for New Nerd Shit involves a bunker at one point in the beginning of the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll never guess what it is.
I
you could guess what it is.
You think I could?
You could guess
I'm
what
not
it
good
is.
at guessing. Everybody else is so good at guessing.
Yeah.
You guessed fucking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Kai guessed Flubber. I give one little hint and people they just know. They just know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
It's a 90s movie.
That doesn't narrow it down. And there's a bunker.
If you think about it hard,
At
you
the
could get it.
beginning? Is it Goldeneye?
No.
No. Okay.
And I wouldn't even call it a bunker, but it is a hole
But
in the
you did
ground.
call it a
It's a
bunker.
hole in the it's a hole in the ground that you hide in
Okay.
from danger.
Huh.
And it's a 90s movie.
Okay.
Well, if you won't guess it, I don't want to give it away until New Nerd Shit.
Right.
If I give too much details, you could probably guess it.
Okay, then don't give me too much.
Yeah.
Fine then. Why don't we? Is that how you're gonna start New Nerd Shit? Was that, or were you gonna save that one for a little bit later?
That wasn't how I was going to start New
Then,
Nerd Shit.
then
but
you
if-
don't have to.
If
no,
we want
no,
to
no,
segue
no.
into it right
I like
here,
a
but
good mystery. Let's
Yeah.
keep me on my toes. Let's keep the shitters on their toes.
Everyone's in the dark.
Everyone's in the dark till you get to it. I am gonna let you start, however,
Okay.
because I mean I also have stuff, but I feel like some of my picks for this week, I just kind of was like, I need to talk about something. These seem like good choices.
I have some interesting choices that I'm going to talk about today.
Okay.
they're not the only things I've been watching or new things I've been watching, but these are the ones that I feel like I can talk about the most.
Okay.
I weighed on talking about The Boys since I just recently did get caught up with that, but I think I'm gonna wait until season 4 is
Yeah, we could do a whole
we could do a whole
the whole Boys
autopsy
on the next one.
because I binged up from season 2 till now.
I do
Completely caught up with The
recommend
Boys.
if you still want Boys content, I would recommend
I'm gonna start Gen V.
watch that before the season finale comes out. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna start that. That's gonna be the next thing I'll binge, and I'll report back to let you know how.
We'll do a whole The Boys world.
Yeah, but I finally got back
episode.
into the mood of being able to watch the gory superhero shit that I was avoiding because I got caught up with Invincible season 2, and then I was like, well, if I did Invincible season 2, I might as well do The Boys.
Yeah.
And so I only watched season 1, started from season 2, binge season 2 in a night.
In a night. I mean, you watched the first season in a night as well.
Yeah, binge season 2 in a night. Took a little break for like a week. Started season 3. Did not binge that the whole way through, but I watched it pretty quickly as well, like over a few days.
Yeah, I mean, since the last time I've seen you, I think you had just started season 3 the last time I saw you.
Yeah, and then I just recently binged season 4 because I wanted to get caught up before the finale.
Right on time.
So yeah, I'm gonna wait to talk about
We'll
The
do it on
Boys
the
and
next
my
one.
thoughts on that until it's all out, and I'll watch the Gen V up to that point as
Yeah.
well, so we can
Just full breakdown.
do a full.
You'll
torque.
probably remind me of stuff because I haven't, watched season 2 or 3 since they came out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we'll go full torque into The Boys probably
I like
next
full
episode.
torque in The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full torquing into The Boys.
Yeah. Cool. So what is, if it's not The Boys, what are you hiding?
Well, you want the mystery one first? Or
No,
do you
I don't want the mystery
You don't
one
want the
first.
mystery
I already
one
told you.
first?
I don't want the
Okay.
mystery one first.
All right.
I want you
so-
to do it exactly the way you planned.
All right, so the first movie I want to talk about, this is another curveball out of left field coming up. You know the classic Universal monsters?
Like Universal Picture Monsters?
Yeah, classic Universal monsters, otherwise known as Cum.
Oh. No, I don't know if I mean, I think I do,
You
but
know, like, I'm talking about, like, the old movies, like, freaking, what's that one swamp creature from the lake?
Swamp
Creature
Thing?
from the Black,
Oh.
swamp, the creature from Black Lagoon,
Creature, okay, yeah.
Invisible Man.
Yeah. The thing they tried to
The
reboot
Mummy.
recently.
Yeah,
and it didn't work.
They tried to do with the Dark Universe, yeah.
Right.
So
But
I've
like
actually,
the real movies.
Yeah, so I've actually never seen any of like the original classic monster movies, the classic Universal monster movies come.
I like that.
And Kaylee had mentioned that she had actually watched the original Dracula movie.
So she's had a little cum.
She's had a little cum, but not I've had no cum.
Huh.
So this is my first cum.
Not surprised.
Yeah. And we rented the original, I think it's 1937.
Wow.
The original Dracula movie.
Cool.
With Bela Lugosi, who plays Dracula. And he is the man that is like the quintessential Dracula. Like the classic example of what we think of as Dracula, you're thinking of Bela Lugosi. And it was very interesting to watch such an old movie. I'm pretty sure this is the oldest movie I've ever seen.
I like to think about Lugosi when I come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he is one of the original cummers.
Wow.
Yeah.
OG cum.
He's the OG cum.
Nice.
And it was good because it's obviously very old movies, very like bare bones sets and settings and designs. And the entire movie, there's no action whatsoever. Like there's no like vampire fights like Morbius. He's not throwing people through walls.
Thank God. Thank God.
It's the entire movie is literally men in rooms talking, and sometimes women in rooms talking to men in rooms. But that's the whole movie. But it was still very interesting how they managed to make it creepy in a way. It's all carried.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's all carried through performances. Bela Lugosi does a really good job as like an intimidating Dracula because there's a lot of scenes where he's just staring into the camera very ominously. There's no score in this movie whatsoever, so it's silent. Like the background is silent when no characters are talking.
Do you think that's on purpose, or they just didn't do that as much back then?
I don't think they did that as much back then, but I think it helps with this particular movie to like up the creepiness of it, because when you are seeing like him be like, because he can act like a normal guy, Dracula, Count Dracula, he's known as Count Dracula and people know who he is, and some people suspect he's a vampire, but no one
No, for sure.
people think it's just a legend.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a vampire.
How these things usually go.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a
It'd be
vampire.
weird if the movie ended and he wasn't.
It starts off with this British guy named Renfield who goes to Castle Dracula.
Sure.
To visit him. I forget. We don't.
The OG story, like this thing. I don't know if I've seen this movie, but I do know the story.
Yeah. And so people who aren't familiar with the OG story, there's this guy called Renfield who goes and visits Castle Dracula. I don't think we're told what the deal is immediately of why he's there, but he has like business with Count Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets up with them. They talk about like property ownership and stuff. Like Count Dracula's trying to buy property in London and like other areas of the world. But Renfield makes like a secret deal with him to become a vampire if he serves Dracula. So he becomes a half vampire and it makes him into like a madman. And he's delivers one of the best performances in the movie, the guy who plays Renfield.
Do you know his name?
No, I forget his name, but supposedly he did such a good job that he got typecast as a crazy person, and his career kind of fizzled out before it could really take off because no one else could see him in any other role besides being a crazy guy because he did it so well in this.
I guess it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, but he's like a half vampire, so he can gain life force, or at least he thinks he can gain life force by eating small bugs and animals.
Okay.
That's like how he thinks if he takes their life, it adds to his lifespan. But he gets thrown into an insane asylum because they end up going to London. We don't know why Dracula wants to go to London, but Renfield arranges for
trying to get territory, maybe.
So
grow an empire.
Yeah, that's pretty much all they go into it with. That he's expanding. He wants more wives.
Okay.
Because he makes his wives into vampires.
Sure.
And so they think he's just like expanding out, trying to like find more wives, trying to spread his influence.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so he eventually goes to London. Like we're only in Transylvania for like the beginning of the film, and the rest of the film takes place in London. Yeah. He's looking for wives there. He's up to no good. Renfield gets put into an insane asylum where he's visited by Dr. Van Helsing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, where the original legend starts.
He's like an old man, though. In this.
Yeah, and I forgot this too.
Yeah.
The original Van Helsing is an old dude.
Right, yeah.
And he's not like a badass.
He doesn't fight monsters.
Vampire hunter or anything.
Yeah.
But he is like Dracula's mortal enemy.
Sure.
Because he's one of the only people who's aware of what Dracula really is and is like dedicated his research to trying to find him and kill him, basically.
Yeah.
And he's a really good actor too. He plays like a cool, badass old man. Like you realize he could not take Dracula in a fight one-on-one, but he still intimidates Dracula because he knows his weaknesses and how to get under his skin. And
wasn't there a guy like that in Fright Night too? Like when we watched Fright Night for Halloween?
Yeah.
Sorry, it just made me think.
Yeah, there's like I'm sure he probably started that archetype
of
characters like that.
Yeah.
And he was really cool. I enjoyed him. At one point, he like surprises Dracula with a mirror, and Dracula's like and like throws the mirror down because obviously he doesn't show up in a mirror.
Right.
And Van Helsing was trying to prove that he was a vampire to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just basically a battle of wits between Van Helsing and Dracula. Like I said, there's no actual action. We don't see him like Dracula like attack people. We show him like in the rooms of people he's about to suck their blood, and then it like cuts.
There's tension for the viewers.
Yeah, but like all the action happens off screen because they didn't probably have the budget for that.
Sure.
Back then,
and maybe better left to the imagination.
Yeah, in this case, it's better left to the imagination. The creepiness isn't from the action; it's from what's implied that's happening. You just are aware that there's this monster that is like hunting people in the night. And there's not much people can do about it because they're not even sure if it's him.
That's why I think Death Note's a good anime to start somebody with sometimes, because like it's like that too.
Right.
There's no action, but it's just characters.
The tension, the battle of wits, the cat and mouse game.
Sure. And this Dracula film has that in spades.
Yeah. And there's one scene. So like Dracula can hypnotize people with his eyes. There's a lot of scenes where I mentioned where he's like completely silent and just staring directly into the camera. And they do like a special lighting trick where you can tell they're like shining a light through like a hole cut out in a piece of paper. So like light just hits his eyes. So it's just like has this creepy, ominous effect of like just seeing his eyes, and he like hypnotizes people through that. And at one point, he tries to hypnotize Van Helsing, and the old man there is just like a gangster. He just stares straight at him. He like almost gets taken over, but then like he stops and overcomes the hypnotism.
Yeah.
Dracula's like, you have a strong will, Van Helsing.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was like
Straight out of anime.
pretty badass for a movie from the 1930s.
It's black and white, right?
Oh yeah, black
yeah.
and white. So yeah, black and white, no score. The entire movie is people talking in rooms, but it's just about the story they're weaving around it. And
How long is it?
Performances. It was an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say those older movies aren't usually too long.
Very breezy movie. If you want to watch a calm movie.
Episode of our podcast is longer than that movie.
Oh yeah. You could bang one out right now.
Get some cum in.
You could bang one of the comes out right now.
Get one of the comes right out of the system.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not going to be for everyone because it's an old-ass movie.
Sure. I'm interested.
Yeah, but it's like, if you want to watch a movie classic, watch cinema.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one to start. That's a good cum.
That's a good cum.
And I want to watch the other comes now.
You want to cum some more?
Yeah.
How many more cum? Well,
I think there's a bunch.
Yeah.
There's, The Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
You know what would be fun to do?
What?
For our next Halloween special? We could just binge a bunch of those. Instead of us all picking, like, get Sam and Kai again, because they're our Halloween guests. And we just watch the classics.
Come all night.
And come all night long with each other. Just a bunch of guys and gals. Because Miranda will be there. Just coming.
Just coming.
Coming all night together.
Back and forth, yeah.
So come on, guys.
Come and come with us.
Come with us
next
this Halloween
Yeah.
for our Halloween special. This is a preview. I'm sure you'll watch more come in between now and then, so you'll have updates. But that's the only one you've watched so far?
That's the only come I've seen, yeah.
That's the only come you've got.
The only come I've seen, but, possibilities are endless now.
Yeah.
I think the Wolfman's one of them, too, like a werewolf one.
I think you're absolutely right, yeah.
Is Frankenstein
Frankenstein's,
count? Yeah.
I think, he's in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Invisible Man.
Invisible Man. I already said the Mummy.
Yeah.
There's other ones. But
yeah. Sick. I can't wait to see where this journey goes. This is a really interesting one.
That's what I thought. I was like, like I said, came out of left field.
Sure
but
did.
It's classic nerd shit. Like original nerd shit.
Came out of Renfield.
Nice.
Thanks. I almost said Cloverfield. Is Cloverfield in that?
No.
Oh. Why not? Have you seen Cloverfield?
No, but I've seen it through osmosis.
No, you gotta watch Cloverfield. You can't just watch it through osmosis.
I don't know if it started the found footage trend. I guess Blair Witch Project technically started that.
I would say it brought it back.
Yeah.
Where it like disappeared for a bit.
Yeah.
But this.
But no, I would watch Cloverfield. I've seen 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, very different movie.
Very different movie, but
very different movie.
Also a very good movie.
It is a good movie. I like that one. But like I was a huge fan. Now we're talking Cloverfield.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Cloverfield when it came out. Like I just was the monster. It was like we were in America. We're making our own Godzilla, and it was cool. And then they didn't do anything with it because even 10 Cloverfield Lane came out like almost 10 years later.
But it's not even really in the same universe.
Well, yeah, the monster's not even right. And I guess there's a third one that I haven't watched where they do connect it back to the monster. Yeah. But I heard that movie's fucking dog shit.
I heard
so
it's
I'm
bad
just
too.
like,
Was it the one that takes place in space?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so
I heard that was bad.
I'm just like, wow, we had so much potential with that first one, and then they did nothing with it. Because you only really get to see the monster a little bit in the actual movie. And I always thought in the future, when I first saw that movie, we'll get to see more of that monster down the road.
Nope.
No. So that's...
You get aliens for, like, the very end of one.
Yep. And you get a big version of the Cloverfield monster at the very end of the third one. Just to say, hey, this is how it's connected.
Yeah.
But we never really got to see the fucking thing. This isn't a Cloverfield podcast. And I'm telling you, when I was like 14, 15 and the first one came out, I was fucking obsessed.
Yeah, and we've established that Cloverfield is not a cum movie.
No, not a cum movie.
Yeah,
just a different movie.
Yep.
I don't know.
A different monster movie all together.
We'll get an acronym for that one going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, so yeah, it's my first one.
That's a good first one.
Yeah.
I'll take the next one then.
Go for it.
And I think we'll kind of stay on the topic of monsters, I suppose. And I do want to just get into talking about Demon Slayer.
Go for it.
Braden and I had already watched it, but I told him he needed to watch the season 4 finale of Demon Slayer, and I want us to talk full thoughts on that episode specifically.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna
give my breakdown, spoiler free-ish, of season 4.
Break it down.
Break it down. So season 4 of Demon Slayer was the Hashira Training Arc. For people who don't know, it's a very short portion of the manga that they stretched into an entire season of television. And typically, this is something that I would be very... Like, it's not reviewing... Like, the season as a whole hasn't reviewed very well because it is kind of like... It could feel kind of fillery. But to me, I don't know. I personally enjoyed this season. And so this whole season is just... There's a big fight coming, so all the Hashira decide they need to train everybody in the Demon Slayer Corps to... train under the Hashira so they can get better, but also the Hashira can get better because they know they're getting into the final battle with the demons.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 chapters in the manga.
I've seen things on Reddit where it's been like I'll watch the episode and then somebody posts like they turned these 3 panels from the manga into an entire episode, and I'm like, okay, I can see where people who read the manga that have been waiting, like as there's the likes, as waiting for Demon Slayer. It sucks when you come back to a season that is kind of like this.
Right.
But as a whole, I think when it's all good and done, you can just watch through Demon Slayer. This is, first of all, I've been watching anime a long time. I saw IGN gave the fucking season a 3, and I was just like, you wouldn't be able to handle Naruto or Naruto Shippuden, because if you think 5 kind of fillery but still canon episodes that are just like about characters and shit aren't good, you would fucking never watch anything.
And Naruto was a long time coming before this. It took a lot longer to get all of that anime out than it did for Demon Slayer.
I wish Naruto would have went off air for a year at a time.
In comparison to other mangas of similar length, they're going at light speed for Demon Slayer.
Sure, yeah. And because I think the season, so there were only 8 episodes. The 8th episode we watched today was 40 minutes, and then the first episode was 45 minutes, so they're longer episodes. And then so that leaves there were 6 fine episodes. It's filler but fun, but I can see why people got oh, this is wasting time. We weren't building toward a big demon fight, you know what I mean? The season, I mean, you at least know it through the manga. It's just a little
I'm aware of what's coming
that they stretched, but I found it very enjoyable. I love
training arcs and things.
Right, I love it reminded me. I texted Caton about this because he's read the manga and stuff, and I was like, dude, is this a crazy season like some of the other seasons where it's just fucking bangers off the rails episode after episode? No, but what we're getting, it's just this fun. It reminded me of Jiraiya and Naruto going to the fair training, to use the Rasengan, but they go to the fair village place and all that shit. It's nothing.
Yeah,
but it's something.
I know it's not for everyone, but one of my favorite things about shonen manga is the training arcs, and not specifically the training arcs, but watching the character get stronger and getting a new move or something. I loved every time in Naruto when there's a training arc, because you know that Naruto's gonna pull out something crazy next battle.
And that's how I feel about all the Demon Slayers right now.
Because I hate series that skip the progression part of the show.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm here for, is to see them go from a weakling to super strong. I don't want that to get completely skipped over.
Yeah.
To where he's a weakling and then strong.
Where I feel like I haven't read the manga, but I imagine the manga, if it is as fast as it in comparison to 8 episodes of television, that needed some room to breathe, and I'm glad they let it breathe. Yeah,
because they did show Tanjiro's journey from where he began to where he is now. To where,
I will believe that everybody is a lot stronger now that I've seen. Were some of the training they did kind of jokes, just to get he goes to stretch with the pink-haired Hashira, and they made a joke out of it. But even seeing that, I'm now we should be able to do cool things, and I can believe if he does a new move, if he's stronger than before. Well, I watched him push a fucking boulder through the woods that was impossible to move at the start of his training. So I can believe that they're all stronger now.
Yeah.
To fight the top fucking demons.
They have to be at least Hashira level to even stand a chance against the demons that are left.
Right.
And so he's not quite there yet, but he's close.
Right. And as the season progressed, like there's an episode where they like throw paper airplanes and like there's a lot of nothingness, but there is a charm in that. And when it's only 6 episodes, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like I'm perfectly okay with that.
It doesn't have to be business all the time.
Yeah.
Even though like you are getting towards the end of the series, like it's good if you're gonna put in filler. It's good to put in character moments or lighter moments of brevity to make it still feel like these are real.
There
people.
were a lot of Hashira left to kind of really get to know, and now I at least feel like I know them a lot better. So I appreciate that going into these final fights.
Yeah, especially the final fight because they all feature heavily.
Yeah.
And like you're seeing some of their fighting styles for the first time.
Oh my god, the only thing I don't like about the finale that we're going to talk about is that all the Hashira get there and they're about to unleash their moves, and then they get sucked away.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I want to see all these guys go all out.
Yeah, you get a little taste of the Stone Hashira and what he can actually
that
fight.
taste, yeah. So we're going to just get into that. I want to talk Braden's thoughts. He's read the manga. I didn't read the manga. We're just going to talk about the finale because it was fucking... And another thing about the rest of the season, though the rest of the season you were throwing paper airplanes is slow, it ends on what I consider to be a fucking banger.
Yeah, because not a lot of things actually happen in the finale, but still a lot of things are crazy to look at and talk about.
I feel like reading that might be like a chapter, and you could cruise through that chapter. They animated this episode, like the music direction, the art direction, all of it is just, to me, a fucking 10 out of 10 type of anime episode.
Which you're correct. And we've spoken on this before, where I just think Demon Slayer is one of those series that works a lot better in anime form than it does in manga. It's still a good manga, but it's not like, I wouldn't call it better than Naruto.
Sure.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
But animated, it completely elevates the material to something that it wasn't before, just on the written page in black and white, because you see the colors, you see the music swells, and it's super intense. It's kind of like with Attack on Titan.
I was going to say, it's the same thing.
Attack on Titan works much better in an animated series. I tried reading the manga for Attack on Titan. It just wasn't the same because you're not hearing the music. You're not seeing like the crazy
One of my
animations
biggest
happening.
regrets is that I read the rest of Attack on Titan after the 3rd season. So when I watched the anime, I had already known. That's why I'm not doing with Demon Slayer. I'm like, no, I want to experience this.
And I think that's the correct
animated.
move with this. I would watch the anime before reading the manga. I don't normally recommend that.
Right.
But in this case, it's one of those series that just works better as an animation.
Yeah.
Because, like I read through the entire series pretty quickly in the manga, and I know what happens, but I almost wish I didn't because they're making scenes that I saw in the manga, which are like, oh, that was cool, into like amazingly epic moments.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
It's like way, way better seeing them in animated
I
form.
imagine, I haven't looked into the manga, but I imagine Muzan walking up to the Ubuyashiki mansion.
Might have been like 3 panels.
Right. And now it was this epic walk. You really like that part.
Like I said, they just told the animators, make a 2-minute scene of him walking up and make it the most epic thing ever. And they delivered.
Yeah.
Where it's just him walking, but it's just music swelling all around. Like
the credits are popping in weird ways.
His foot has like an energy off of it. Like anytime he makes a step, it's like there's like a shockwave almost. Like throughout like the like he just changes the atmosphere as he walks in. Like you don't get any of that on a page.
No, that is
beyond your own imagination.
Yeah, the whole time I watched this episode, like I was sitting upright. It didn't, because like the walk-in kind of happened in the episode previously, so they just did it again. So I wasn't right there with it. But as soon as those motherfuckers started talking, I was like, oh fuck, I am up. And I mean, it only just. It's a slow burn. It starts a slow burn, you know what I mean? It's them just... But the information you're getting is important. You're learning the backstory of, like, how Ubuyashiki is connected to Muzan.
Yeah. And you're aware that one or both of these guys are dying very, very soon.
And
so
you're
tension there.
You're pretty sure the good guy is going to die here.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, and it's just like they're talking, and the talking gets more epic. And the master's just so, like, fucking... He knows what's about to happen, so he's just calm, cool, and collected. He's just telling this motherfucker, guess what, dude? You've made a lot of people really, really, really mad at you.
Yeah.
and they are going to kill it. I love that whole speech.
It just
about
perfectly,
the human will.
Yeah, it just perfectly contrasts like the two main sides in this, like the human will versus the immortal demons that can regenerate.
Yeah.
And they mentioned a few times like the Master's age, how he's not an old guy.
No.
He's like
I think he's 30.
barely
something.
30.
Yeah.
And they mentioned how he's always kind of been like that, like this weak.
Well, their whole clan are just weak and
these weak, sickly, short-lived people are facing down this 1,000-year threat of someone who can't die from normal means and can just keep regenerating while you continue to get weaker. But like it's kind of contrasted the same with like how humans are demon slayers fighting demons, of how they are naturally weaker and can't regenerate.
Yeah.
So they have to be that much harder workers.
Yeah.
To get there.
One of my favorite lines in the Mugen Train movie is when Tanjiro's screaming at Akaza and he's just saying like, you have to run away in the sunlight. That's where we're at our best. We only have to fight you guys like in the dark where you're at your strongest, and we are still going to kill you. Like I misquoted that, but like that's the emotion that he's given. Like we have to fight on your terms.
Like even though you have literally every single advantage against us,
we've been fighting you this.
We're still matching you.
Yeah,
we're still equaling you out.
Yeah.
To where you can't stamp us out. In our entire 1,000 years,
so
we've still
badass.
passed down the Demon Slayer's will.
Yeah, I love the scene where it's like he's saying all that, and it shows the tiger and the whatever, and then it cuts to all the Hashira, and then it ends with that zoom in of just Tanjiro and Nezuko. I think that was the part of the episode where like the chills started coming into me, and I started sitting up.
Yeah.
When I first watched it, because I was like,
him down.
That was fucking epic as fuck. And you agree, you're just like, you have made so many people hate you, and they are coming for you, motherfucker.
Yeah. And they've trained their whole lives to do it.
Oh my god! And right as like that intensity is happening, right before the place blows up, it cuts to all the Hashira and Tanjiro charging toward the area. I teared up watching that the first time. Like I sat up just because it's all that epicness. The big speech happens, then they're all coming in. They love this man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just
all saying his name at the same time
as they're charging in. And I remember a tear swelled up in my right eye, and I was just like, "This is." And then it cuts to like the commercial, like. Because the second half of the episode's about to kick off, and it's very different than the first half.
Oh yeah, the first half is just a conversation.
Yeah, that's epic.
That's an epic conversation.
It's people in rooms talking, like Dracula.
Yeah, and then the second episode is where the action happens.
Yeah,
and again, it's not like ending series action. It's just like the opening salvos, pretty much, of the fight,
and it's still awesome.
Yeah.
We're not really. This is a conversation for people that watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And know what Braden and I are talking about. I'm not going to go into details about the series or the episode.
Right. We don't want to get into super spoilers,
Sure.
but if people are interested in watching Demon Slayer for like a good, beautiful manga that's epic to get into, good, beautiful anime, I should say.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
I absolutely recommend it.
It's something to get pumped up about.
Yeah. And we're just getting to the part of the episode that I think I got even more pumped up about. Because, so, the Master, let's also talk about the animation of when he just blows up the entire complex to
that was like CG animation.
It looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It looked epic.
It looked like a real explosion. Like
so slow-mo. So, because even as it's happening, because I hadn't read the manga, so when it's happening, I'm not even sure who's doing this. Like, I'm like, is Muzan blowing this place the fuck up?
Right, because at first it seems like he's using his powers.
But it's then you see the corpse, the animation on his, oh my god.
Yeah, you realize it wasn't him. This wasn't his plan.
Yeah. And that the Yashiki just blew the fucking place up with his kids.
With his family,
with his whole family there. It was just like, holy fucking shit.
Also, knowing full well that probably wasn't going to do anything except slow him down a little bit, but he cared that much to take him down.
Yeah.
That he's like, I'm going to just throw everything at this small chance of taking him down because I fucking hate this dude.
a little for my people to finish the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. And then everything just from that point on, they're just like, all right, all the animation budget that we still have left, dump it into these next 20 minutes. Dump it into the next 20 minutes. Because, like, it's him regenerating. He sees, like, all the little pieces. Because, like, the explosion isn't just an explosion. It's infused with, like, small...
like shrapnels
of the sword.
Yeah.
Of the type of swords that the Demon Slayers fight with. So it affects him like on a bigger level of slowing him down.
Yeah, so like he normally would regenerate instantaneously,
Yeah.
but he was taking a little bit
A
to
little
actually
bit,
grow
which
back.
gave
this
that
time.
little moment for what's her name to come in, the doctor bitch demon,
The demon doctor.
the demon doctor bitch, Tamayo. Tamayo is her name, Lady Tamayo. And she comes in. She uses a fucking crazy blood demon. How about when all those spikes like took him in? Once again, the first time I watched this, I was just like, "Holy fuck, what is going on?"
I forgot that they could do they could take other demons' blood demon arts and use them. Because at first I thought it was his.
Right. Yeah.
And then it impales him.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that wasn't his.
Nope. No, and then it's a conversation. All the conversations slowly get more intense as the episode builds. So now she's talking to him like, "You turned me into this demon, and I'm gonna use it to get you." And he's like, "Well, you killed a lot of people." And she's like, "I hate myself for that, and I'm gonna kill you." And I'm like, "This is what we're here for." And then she says, "What's the Stone Hashira's name? Guillaume." So
Guillaume.
She just screams, "Guillaume now!" And because he's the only one we're not seeing run through the woods with everybody else.
That's right. I didn't even notice that at first. But yeah, he's the strongest one, and he's nowhere to be found.
Fucking dude, whenever they just let the Hashira unleash their moves, the anime, the way it's always epic. The music's epic, the scene's epic, the animation's epic, and he just comes swinging in and blows that motherfucker's head off. When I first saw that, I was like, one, I knew they didn't kill him, but I was still like, holy fuck, that was amazing.
It's the best shot they had so far.
You would assume you're seeing the first time anybody's probably even ever did that to this motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
too,
to that extent.
And it's just the opening of the battle, and that's when all the rest of the Hashira show up. There's so many just cool little animated scenes, because it does the camera spin around Muzan, but it shows everybody either in the forefront or the background of the Hashira gathering on the scene. Such a well done shot, man.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. And then they all just charge in there with loading up whatever they think is the best of their moves.
Their epic group attack that probably would have severely fucked them up if he let them all land at once.
No doubt in my mind. Especially with, dude, in Tanjiro is just fucking... I love when he gets mad, and I love that Muzan just makes him just fucking lose his coconuts, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. And
normally such a sweet boy.
Oh, I know. So that's and then he sucks them all into the Infinity Castle, and
another epic moment. I love the little sound effects that they have for the doink.
Yeah. It's it's the sound of somebody playing that instrument. Yeah.
It still makes it epic somehow.
Oh yeah.
It's like a tempo, you know?
Oh, I know. Yeah. And then that mixed with just the look of the Infinity Castle. All the demon slayers fall into, all of them, not just the Hashira and Tanjiro.
Yeah,
all of
even
them
the grunts
just fall into this castle, only to be presented with all right, the final arc is about to start.
Yeah, this is the arena that the demons and demon slayers are finally going to duke it out to see who comes out on top, because the demons are in there too.
Oh, of course they are. It's their house.
Yeah, so it's literally going to be an all-out war.
Beautiful episode, man. Beautiful episode from beginning to end. Zenitsu, when he is just the confidence in that motherfucker.
That was my favorite scene from this, was seeing Zenitsu fall, because I love when when not serious characters get serious. Because he's a jokey character.
He sure is.
He's a jokey character, but they have such potential for badassness when they want to make them badass, because if he's not joking.
He's a badass when he's asleep, and my favorite thing about that scene is it almost tries to trick you into thinking he is asleep, and that's why he's so calm.
Right.
But then he just opens his eyes, and I'm just like,
no.
Holy fuck, dude, I can't. My guess is whatever note he got in the episode that made him all serious is his grandpa or his master grandpa died, a demon got him, or something.
Yeah.
I'm probably right. Don't tell me if I am. That's my guess. But whatever that note said, Zenitsu is not fucking around. And literally 2 episodes prior to that, he's fucking, I don't want to be here. This training super hard. I don't want to do any of this. And now whatever changed.
Yeah, he's one of the calmest ones there.
I'm in the scariest place I've probably ever been in my entire fucking life. And I'm ready to rip.
Yeah. He's keeping his composure better than some Hashiras are.
Absolutely he is. Yeah. I can't wait to see what that... it sucks that so many people do know what he's about to do. I'm just sitting here what is my boy? For people who don't know, Zenitsu is probably my favorite Demon Slayer character. I fucking love him.
Yeah.
I know he's a little over the top for some people, but for me,
He's the sleeping
works.
swordsman trope where
it's done so well.
he gets really good if he falls asleep, but he's kind of a wimp when he's awake. And so
But
it's a big
I also
deal.
think he's funny when he's awake.
Yeah,
too.
so it's a big deal when he's awake and not being a wimp.
And he's just ready to fucking go. He is less
'Cause
freaked out about it than Genya, who is a guy who I'm hoping they explain why he eats demons and can become sort of a demon. They have yet to explain that.
Oh, they haven't explained that?
No, not entirely. So they do.
I thought they would have already did when they revealed that he does eat
No,
demons.
I mean the only first he just turned into one, and then they told us that he eats them, and that's how. But there's no like reason why he can.
There's
do
some
that,
reason
does it?
why he can do
Okay,
it. It's
so they're probably
something-
just saving.
I can't remember if it's something with like his bloodline, or if something where he's like a half demon or something.
My theory, my working theory right now is like, so in the flashback of his life where his family gets attacked by a demon, he gets like scratched by one, but he doesn't get killed by it. So I was like, oh, did that do something maybe?
It's probably something along those
I
lines.
can't remember, but
It's not like terribly important.
yeah,
but
it's one of those things that I want to know though. Like
Yeah.
same reason I feel like I want to know why Zenitsu is so strong when his narcolepsy kicks in.
yeah, I don't think there's an explanation for that.
And there doesn't really have to be
Yeah.
at this point.
He's just like that.
Yeah, but I think Genya being able to become kind of a demon is something I need some more information on.
Yeah.
Different thing. So yeah, ultimately, Braden, I feel like I just talked about the whole episode a lot, but is there any other moments from the episode that you wanted to bring up?
No other big moments that I wanted to bring up. Yeah, I liked seeing the Stone Hashira come out. He's my favorite Hashira because he's really cool and he's cool when he
pretty cool.
fights.
I want to see more of that.
I would love to see more of that, and you will.
Cool.
You'll see them all fight,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be epic. And yeah, I'm excited for the 3 movies to come out. It's gonna be just straight up battles the whole time.
3 good nights at the movie theater.
3 good nights
sounds
at the
like.
movie theater. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that Demon Slayer got this kind of renaissance with the anime.
Yeah, I agree, because it's
It's up there now.
It's phenomenal. I said this to Kaiten once. Demon Slayer, like for me, and I don't know if this goes for everybody, but a lot of us there's a certain period in our life where we find the anime or manga that is our like big one, and then time passes and you don't know if you can get into one like that again.
Right.
For me, it was Naruto. For me, I was big Naruto guy. I didn't think like I'd probably be into something as much as Naruto with any of like the new gen stuff. Like sure, One Piece, things that were going on while Naruto was on, sure. But the new stuff, like My Hero Academia, I got into My Hero. I like it.
Yeah.
But they were all still not like Naruto.
Yeah.
But Demon Slayer to me is like as close as I can get in my 30s as to how Naruto made me feel when I was 15.
I tried getting into Fire Force and it was almost there, but then it just fell off, and things that I hated about it just got worse.
You should watch the last season's coming out in like April.
I probably will watch it.
I like Fire. Yeah, Fire Force is.
I like Fire
It's got
Force. There's
issues,
just
but-
annoying shit about it that I hate.
Yeah. That it would be perfect if just a few dumb things weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. That's one too that like I read the manga, but it's animated beautifully.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we don't need to get into Fire Force. We just talked a lot about Demon Slayer, so I'm gonna let you get to your second thing, man.
So yeah, my next new nerd shit. I recently went to the drive-in with Kaylee, and we saw A Quiet Place Day 1. I believe it's called, with Lupita Nyong'o. Is it Nyong'o?
I have no idea what her name is.
I've actually never heard it pronounced out loud.
Yeah.
But with Lupita as the main character, and the guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Season
Eddie
4.
is
The
his
guy who
name.
plays Eddie, I forget his name. He's blowing up. He's going to be in a lot of things. He's in the new Fantastic Four as Johnny Storm. That guy.
Yeah.
He's he's the second main character, and he's kind of a surprise main character because he's not in the first like 30 or 40 minutes of the movie.
Oh really?
He shows up later. There's a few people that you think are going to be the main character. These are minor spoilers. I'm not going to get super spoiler into it, but there might be minor spoilers in here. But there's a few people that show up that you think are going to stick around, and then they don't. Like that guy who you haven't seen the second one.
No, I've only
Okay.
seen the first one.
There's a character in the second movie that is in this movie. So continuity wise, you know that like he lives, which he was featured heavily in the marketing of this movie. but he's actually not in the movie for the majority of the time. You think he's going to be one of the main characters, and he's not. Lupita is the main character. Her character has terminal cancer. We don't know what kind of terminal cancer, but we just know that she's at like end of life hospice care.
So in a movie where the world is falling apart, her world is also falling apart?
Yes.
That's like Lupita -1.
Yeah, she's like has months left to live, but I actually think she's like in a special facility now where like she has to like have escorts to go out to places because she's at like the end of her life. Yes, she has to have women of the night follow her if she wants to go anywhere in the city.
If you want to go outside, you can, but by the way, you're going to be followed by these fucking hookers. So nobody's going to be nice to you except people that want to fuck you. Yeah,
and she is a very interesting main character because obviously the world is ending around her, but she's already been resigned to death for a long time, and she's seeing all these people who are not resigned to death suddenly lose their life. So it gives her kind of a different kind of attitude than what you normally see in horror movie protagonists, because she's scared to die, but she's not necessarily scared of death. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the other guy,
I'm scared of both.
I forget what his name is in this. It's like Eric. It's Eric. He shows up later.
Eddie is Eric.
Okay. Yeah. He shows up later. He like managed to hide from like the initial invasion and stuff, and then like
quiet somewhere.
He just randomly starts following her because like he doesn't really know what to do, and she's like not acting like the rest of the people who are trying to survive, and so he kind of just latches on to her, and it's just like about their journey trying to survive the first few days of the invasion. Obviously, I'm simplifying it. There's a lot that goes on in it, but I don't want to get into heavy spoilers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really good. I was hoping to learn more about the aliens in this movie because I thought I was going to learn more about them in the second movie, and you do a little bit, like more about their weaknesses and stuff. But we don't actually still know what they are, where their origins are. We see how the invasion began in this, where like they basically came down on meteorites.
Okay.
I had a theory that I told Kaylee. I said, I don't think these are the main aliens. I think these are like the attack dogs that they send in first initially to like wipe out resistance, and then like the real aliens, like the masterminds, come down and colonize the planet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But they don't get it. You think the monsters from all three of the movies are just the dogs?
Yeah, I think they're just the attack
okay.
dogs. Because like it seems like the way the invasion happens, it seems coordinated or like almost intentional. Like they have a purpose for being here and all attacking at once.
Does this movie get into that?
No.
Oh, okay.
We learn a little bit more about them. We do see something, and it's a very quick scene, and I'm not going to spoil it, but we do see something that the aliens do that we haven't seen them do in any other movie. And it's just a really quick scene. The characters don't remark on it or talk about it at all, and we move on and we don't see it again. But it is just like an interesting little lore tidbit to speculate about, of like you see these aliens doing something that we haven't seen them do before. So that was interesting to me, but that's all we get in terms of what we learn about them, which I still can't decide if I like that more, because I'm conflicted, because I like that we don't know a lot about them, because that makes it more mysterious and more interesting. Like once you start to like flesh out an unknowable creature, it becomes a little less scary because you can identify things, and they're very much slow dripping information about what these things are, because again, we still don't know their motives. They still pretty much just act like animals that just kill anything.
Well, as somebody
that makes a sound.
Who's only seen the first movie, I guess I've never thought about it even deep enough of like, why are these things here? I think with monster movies, like I don't really think of the why. I'm just like, well, they're here because it's a monster movie.
Yeah, the only thing.
So to think there's a master plan, I don't know. That makes me more interested in this series if there's like slow puzzles building this like big alien invasion, and these things are just the beginning.
Yeah, that's at least my pet theory, is that like there's something more intelligent that's driving these things. These things are just here to like clean up the planet before the real threat arrives.
Wow. That's cool.
Because, yeah, the second movie goes a lot into, like, how do you defeat them? Like, how do you beat them? Because there are ways that they do have weaknesses that you can exploit. They're still very strong, and they still outnumber you, but there's ways that you can get rid of them to survive. And this one was, like, how did the invasion start? Were they coordinated? And, like, obviously they're in New York City, and we haven't seen, like, an urban environment yet. And this is, like, right after the aliens hit. So they mentioned how, like, New York City is, like, a super, super loud city. And so, like, they all attacked the population centers first, like, the major cities. And there's a fuck ton of them.
Wow.
There's, like, way more.
Damn.
In this one.
I think I should catch up. I think when I watched the first one, I was like, oh, this is, like, a good horror movie. I didn't know they were building this, like, universe.
Yeah, it's I definitely...
John Krasinski's really created something here.
Well, I think they're making more. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. After this one.
I heard it made some pretty good amount of money too.
Oh yeah, and it was a good movie. Out of the three, I think I liked this one the least. But that's not to say it was a bad movie. It's just that this one, it was a different take, and I also realized I probably shouldn't have seen it in a drive-in theater because this movie, obviously, it's a quiet place like most of the other movies. There's not a lot of dialogue, and the dialogue that is spoken is mostly in whispers. In the first two movies, they counteract that to where it's not as bad because the characters know sign language. So whenever characters need to communicate with each other, you get subtitles of what they're saying. So you understand what's going on even though there's no actual dialogue. It's just signing. And this one, neither character knows sign language. So they have to either not speak to each other or just use body language or talk in quiet whispers. And in the drive-in, the radio had, like, static. And so the static would be over their whispers, so I could barely hear what they are saying at times. So certain times I just had to, like, figure out what was going on based off of what the characters were doing.
You were like one of the monsters at that point.
Basically.
What's he saying?
Which I'm fine with. That's a fine way to watch a movie. But
yeah.
I did want to hear some of their lines of dialogue that I couldn't hear. Yeah. And there's no subtitles because they didn't know sign language. So it was just a lot less dialogue and it was all whispered.
Jesus.
There's a cat in this.
Okay.
That
sucks. I hate when they put animals in these things.
Yeah, and the entire time, you're scared of this cat
getting
dying.
Killed by a
and
monster.
It does get into perilous situations. But it is also, I guess, the best cat to have during the apocalypse because it does not make a sound once in this movie.
Smart
I'm like,
cat.
my cat would be like, meow, meow, meow.
Yeah.
Get us killed immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my cats for sure. The other one, he's at least grunting. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It was a very well-behaved cat. I mean, they explained it as, like, it's her emotional support animal. So it's, like, a well-trained cat. But, yeah, it doesn't make a meow for the entire movie.
Not a single meow. Well, now you gave me a reason to not watch the movie, but I'll watch it. I don't like worrying about animals a whole movie.
Yeah, but every time it does get into danger, it does make sure to give you a shot of, like, it's okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
They know as human beings we care.
Yeah, but it does get into peril if you worry about animals in peril.
Does it die?
I won't say.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to watch the second one first, so I'll
watch the second one first. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's, carried by...
It's a continuation of the first
what's
one.
What's her face?
Yeah.
John Krasinski's wife.
Yeah.
Also a famous actress.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt.
Yeah. I was gonna make a "don't be so blunt" joke.
Yeah. She does really well in it, and Cillian Murphy's in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll check them out.
Definitely do.
I like the first one quite a bit, so the fact that they're making like a pretty cool little universe out of it intrigues me.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Sick.
So, what is this? Did you want to talk about the video game?
I do want to talk about
What's
the
this video game
that
you've been playing?
I think I am going
been
to...
in suspense for too long.
Yeah, I know. That's how I feel about your mystery.
Yeah.
So, last week, after I finished editing our last episode, I started playing on my computer what is considered rated the number one, if you ask around, Star Wars video game. Knights of the Old
Republic. I do remember seeing you play it now.
Okay. Did that pop up?
That popped up,
Yep,
yeah.
I played a
Because
fuck
I
ton of
remember
it.
I forgot what you were playing, but I saw a game that I haven't seen you play before,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, he's into that. But I completely forgot what the game was, and that it just all came back to me because I remember seeing KOTOR pop
Yep,
up.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
I played a lot of it.
What'd you think, man?
Oh, dude.
I love that game.
You played it then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I don't gotta go. I will explain it for the crew. But, dude, so let me give you a little backstory on KOTOR for me specifically.
Go for it.
KOTOR, it came out in 2003 for the Xbox and I think PC. It is an old game, and there are things I don't like about it that they're based all around the fact that it's just old, and I accept that. But they are still
they haven't perfected things yet,
and I'll get to that. But I played it when I was a kid. Like I rented it for my Xbox, and like the gameplay style, I didn't get far into it at all when I was a kid. I didn't understand any of it.
It's tough.
It's
it's an RPG.
Well, I'm gonna compare it. I'm just gonna say it right now because if you hadn't played it, this is how I was gonna tell you what it is. It's like 2003, but Baldur's Gate in 2003, but it's Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's Star Wars Baldur's Gate. It doesn't tell you how to play the game.
Surprisingly in depth.
It's a D20 based fight system RPG where you pick you pick all your attributes when you level up. You do all the work. The game doesn't do it for you.
Pick all your moves. Yeah.
It's Baldur's Gate Star Wars, and when I was in 2003 I was 11. That if I had a lightsaber in a video game, I wanted to be spamming the button to be swinging.
It took me a long time to learn how to get good at RPGs, especially understanding that you're not supposed to be really good in the beginning.
Sure, yeah.
Because the hardest parts with RPGs is starting
of these types of RPGs,
right?
CRPGs.
But once you get going,
yeah. Dude, and that's how it kind of was for me. So I played it when I was a kid, and that's what I mean. As time went on, I hear this game is literally like the world's favorite Star Wars game.
Oh yeah,
I've heard easily. So like as life goes on, I'm getting more interested. I play Baldur's Gate. I've been playing different kinds of games, so I'm finally like, let's go. I think I'm ready. Let's start Knights of the Old Republic. So I download it, and it's a fucking bitch to get working because like it's not, you don't just buy it on Steam and you just can play. Like I had to change settings, update my drivers, make my computer think we were playing it in Windows XP because it's a fucking game from 2003 to get it to run.
You have to trick your computer basically into playing this game.
You really do. You have to Jedi mind. You have to splice it and use a fucking one of your computer parts to hack it.
Yeah.
To get it to fucking work. And that's a little, for people who play the game, that's things you do in the game. But once you do, you're introduced to this story in Star Wars. It's set 4,000 years before Episode 1 during the Sith War with the Jedi.
Is that the High Republic era?
It's not the High Republic, it's the Old Republic.
Old Republic,
yeah,
right.
yeah. So,
I'm not super familiar with the term.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a poser Star Wars fan.
Sure. Nah, you're good. I wouldn't say a poser Star Wars fan. You are.
I just haven't read any of the extended universe.
You're good. You're good because honestly, the High Republic only really covers like a couple hundreds of years before.
Yeah.
Episode
and I'm
1.
aware that there's a thing called the High Republic in the past.
Sure.
So there's that at least.
It's also kind of a newer concept.
Yeah.
Whereas the Old Republic is like it's been around for, a long time.
Right.
At least 20 years because of this game. So you wake up. Your character wakes up in the middle of a battle on the Endar Spire.
Yes. I remember the Ender Spire.
The Endar Spire, whatever you want to call it, Ender Spire.
Yeah, it's bringing it back.
And you have amnesia, and you have to, you build your own character. You build your own stats. You can pick what kind of Star Wars character you want to be, and you're just thrown into this war. You're just thrown into the Sith.
Which character?
In the middle of a battle.
Which character did you start off as? I tried to start off as a Han Solo type rogue gun blaster guy.
So I'll be honest, I had to start this game over because, like we said, I had to trick my computer into getting to play it. So I had to start it over a lot. So honestly, I don't remember what I ended up being because what I ended up being really didn't matter in the grand scheme of the game itself.
Yeah, because once you get to a certain point in the game, you completely switch up your play style.
I think I picked Scoundrel first, but I don't think I ended. By the time the game kept crashing because I didn't trick my computer enough to play it. So it would let me create a character, and then as soon as the game would go to start, it would crash. So I recreated my main character a lot. So right out the gate with this game, I have every reason to not want to start playing it.
Right, it's a challenge to even boot it up.
And then it starts pretty difficult, and you have like no armor, and you have like a little blaster or a sword.
I remember that first battle and like the ship.
Oh my god! And it was, you played it, you click. It doesn't tell you how to do any of the so you have to solve how to play the game, and you also suck. So that's where it's a lot like Baldur's Gate,
right?
If you haven't played it before, because in my head I'm like, well, eventually I know I can get a lightsaber. I'll start as like a sword guy. The sword doesn't do fucking dick.
No, you like can't hit shit at the beginning.
You miss. Yeah, you have no ability to hit.
You just have horrible
and the damage
rolls.
Doesn't do anything. So I switched to a gun. The first part of the game is about 5 to 6 hours long. This opening, like, you kind of aren't sure if you want to keep playing.
Yeah, and it can be a rough 5 to 6 hours until you get to a certain point where you kind of are interested.
Well, you get to a part in the game where you start to. They're like, you can have a lightsaber and you can start to train in the Force, because it's like, okay, finally I can do some cool shit other than like shoot with a gun.
Yeah, and again, once you start off as a Jedi, because eventually your character goes to the Jedi Temple and gets sworn in as a Jedi.
Yeah, and one thing I'm forgetting is it's a game like Baldur's Gate, like Mass Effect, because it is BioWare. You're picking dialogue choices. Like, you're making decisions throughout the whole game that influence whether you're a good guy, whether you're a bad guy.
There's a morality
who
system
works
that plays
with you.
into the light and dark side of the Force.
That works really,
which is a
really
slam
well.
dunk karma system, by the way.
Slam dunk.
Yeah.
Slam dunk. Yeah, for real. And it lets you play with it a lot. Like, I played my playthrough completely like a good dude. Like, I think
same. I can't be a bad dude.
I know, we've talked about this before, but here's my thing. I'm going to play the second one eventually. But I'm going to try to go full bad guy in the second one.
I remember reading something on Reddit where, like, they did a study that, like, 90% of playthroughs in games that have, like, a good and bad playthrough, people do the good playthrough.
Really?
Like,
I'd expect the worst.
Most people actually... Yeah, because you always
worst.
hear about... Like, everyone knows that one guy who does do all the worst options every time. But, like... Yeah,
and they seem to have a blast.
And it seems really fun. And like every time I try and do an evil playthrough, I start to just feel bad again.
You're just a dick to people that are just, not too bad to you in the first place.
Right, which that's the point, is you're supposed to be a dick, but I like to be a savior, and like I like when people like me in a game.
Yeah. And I feel like, in a way, with this game specifically, you get the more accurate story ending if you play the good guy. I just feel like if I went full bad guy the whole time, I have a very different ending, and I just don't feel like that's the story they wanted to actually tell. It's just one that's an option.
Have you beaten the story?
I beat the story.
Okay,
so full spoilers on Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I finished it.
Because there is a lot of twists.
There are a lot of twists.
Say one big twist. But...
Yeah, one big twist, but at the same time, there's opportunity for more twists if I would choose meaner dialogue, but I don't. I try to be like, I was listening to this guy talk about playing bad side, and like he's like, oh, you get way more money if you do the bad side, like because you ask people for more.
You get more money, and I'm also pretty sure a lot of their moves are stronger, so you do better in combat as like, because like they get some of the because like a lot of light side moves are like healing and like defensive,
which you need,
which are good and you need.
Those med packs fucking suck.
But when you have to take down a strong enemy, it's sometimes cool to just force lightning them to death.
I didn't have any. I had a guy
or force choke them
because they have the good side of it, which is destroy droid, so you can use like a force lightning, but it only affects robots.
Yeah.
So like because I didn't have any like dark side characters really,
right?
Other than like the robot that is.
Oh, I love the robot. He's one of my favorite characters.
I wish I could remember his name for this, but yeah, he was funny as fuck.
Yeah, he's one of that's a very funny, well written game.
It's a very adult. Like there's a lot of adult themes in it. Like there's some side quests that are like involve like cheating and involve like some pretty dark murder mystery stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I was really surprised with some of the concepts.
It definitely doesn't skimp on its themes and concepts. It's not aimed at babies.
No, not at all. And there's some things in it that are like weak. Like for instance, the Bastila character, I feel like they really simplify the Force because she just like turns to the dark side at one point at the end of the game, and then you can convince her to not be dark anymore, and it's just like, what motivated her from being this Jedi that's pretty Jedi to like, oh, she got captured, oh, she's evil now.
Right.
Like the dark side just, if it gets you, it gets you. And
that's probably one of the things that
was a weaker thing for
neutered
me.
by the morality system. They need to have a choice for like this big character you meet later on in the game that like plays into the karma system. So like, oh, she can be bad or she can be good, depending on how you played.
Right. And I convinced her to come back.
Because you need to have like
by the end.
Yeah, you need to have like a certain alignment to pass certain dialogue options to affect the story and the way you want to go.
One thing about this, though, that it shows it's 2003. I am going to talk about some of its like where Baldur's Gate is the perfect version of this. There are times where you can have conversation and dialogue that if you just try it again, you like if there's a persuasion, for instance, and you missed it, you can just talk to that character again and try it again, and you can maybe get it. Like there's ways around the system almost.
Yeah, stuff that
some things are forever, most things are, but there are some things you can just be like
before they worked out the kinks with these kind of systems that you could exploit it.
Oh my god! So things like that, like because you think like, oh, now what do I got to solve to actually get this guy to do what I want? Well, what if I just try it again? Or sometimes they'll just give you the dialogue you already had back. Like it would disappear from the conversation, and then it would return, so you could just try it again.
Right. So there weren't actually any stakes. If you wanted to pass that check, you could.
Yeah. But sometimes I did run into somewhere I just kept, so I was like, okay, I'll try something else. So that's fine. That's one of the like different things. Another thing that drove me mad about this game that showed that it was from 2003. I cannot tell you. It wasn't a whole lot, but it happened enough where like I would go to leave an area and it would be like, you can't leave. Your party needs to be all together. And I turn around. I'm like, why isn't my entire party all together? Like, where are you guys? You're programmed to literally follow me. And then I would do this. I would switch to one of the other characters because this is a game where if you click, you can switch upon your party characters.
Yeah, RPG. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to grab this guy and run him back to where I am. But because I clicked that guy, my guy is now running toward him. And the game would glitch out where even if I clicked to go back to my original guy, I couldn't control him. And he would just walk to wherever. So my party never would get back together, and I'd be like, oh, I just want to leave. So that drove me a little insane, but I would always be like 2003, like
right. You have to forgive it.
It's got a lot of good things, so I'm like, I will let these little. They're janks. They're janky little janks.
Yeah, it is maddening, the RPGs, just movement systems that you have to.
Because Baldur's Gate does it sometimes too. But not like this.
But not as bad. It's always been a little janky. Like, following physics has always been a little bad. And they've done a lot to perfect it over the years, but there's still sometimes the same old problems of characters getting stuck on things.
Yeah.
Kenshi is notorious for that.
You did say that one's a little older. So.
It's older, and characters clip into buildings or get stuck on things, and you always have to be running people back and forth to grab people to take them with you.
Oh, it's and that's the thing. This game is fucking amazing, but there are things about it that you have to remind yourself. 2003. Yeah. 2003 Xbox, original Xbox.
Yeah, but at its core, it's still a great game.
I had so much fun. But once you get the lightsaber, and you have the choice to go, like there's all these worlds you can go visit, because the mystery of the game is you have to find all these like star maps to unlock like where the bad guys are. So it lets you choose like some worlds, and you don't have to do them in any order, and the game scales, so no matter what you did, you're never too weak or too strong.
Yeah, and you can revisit planets that you've been on before. Like you can revisit every area.
There's so many side quests that like it gives you the option to go back and do them. You don't have to always do them as you're doing the main story.
A lot of times when you're on quests, there's like other quests related to that quest that you have to look out for. Like I have to go into the forest, but you have to make sure you hunt this thing while you're there too.
There was a part there's the water world, Munan, something with an M, where there's a guy, an old war veteran who's being the Sith are suing him or something as an assassin because one of their Sith people died, and you have to convince the court why he didn't do it.
Right, because that's the planet where it's like neutral kind of.
Yes,
right?
yes. And while I was doing the main quest, like helping the Republic, there was like a file in their computer, and I was like, oh, what's this? It had nothing to do with the mission I was on. And it was like, here's evidence of him murdering the Sith. And it's like, oh, fuck, I'm supposed to tell people that he's good. And there's literal video proof. But when I went to do the trial, I didn't click. Like, I have video. I fought for him to be innocent, and we got him out. Because, he's Republic. But that's a side quest in just one of the worlds.
Yeah, and they're well written.
They are well written.
All are pretty much entertaining. Like, I found entertainment on every single planet.
Yeah, you spend about 2-3, I'd say about 3 or 4 hours worth of playtime on each planet. Yeah, doing like the main.
They're all memorable in their own way. Like you do different stuff.
Yeah, because there's things like you can do bike races. There's like the mechanics of the game are always basically RPG-esque. You're controlling a character, you're clicking attacks, but there's times where you get to shoot the fucking cannons in the spaceship, ship's coming at you, or you get to race the bikes in the bike races, or
fun little
it
mini
changes.
games.
Yeah, it changes like the way you're playing in a Star Wars way, and I loved that. The first time I did the like you're in the gunner and the ship thing, and I was doing mouse and keyboard, that was kind of hard to like. But once I figured out how to do it, I got it. But that was pretty challenging. Challenging but fair, and I love the armor system. I love you can upgrade lightsabers to any colors. You can have 2 of them. You can have a dual blade one.
Different guns, different
weapons,
swords.
All the characters, because you get you have a party of 3 that you can travel with, but you get like 10 people who just hang out on your ship. Which the ship hub is for 2003 too. Like it's a cool ass ship.
Yeah.
Like where your party, like it's like the Baldur's Gate camp.
Yep, you just hang out with your party. That's where you have all your conversations with your party members, and that's where like a lot of the like really funny, unique dialogue shows up, and it also gets you to know each character. And,
yeah.
They all have their own specific backstory, and it's general RPG stuff. They all have their backstory. They all have quests related to their characters that you can do to like get unlock special things about them.
That sometimes the game is pretty. This is another downer for the game, but like you would sometimes just be talking in the game and be like, "Hey, Karth, he doesn't look okay. Do you want to talk to him?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, I don't want to talk to him. If I want to talk to him, I talk to him."
Yeah, they try and give you.
They try to force it on
you.
Yeah, they try to make you like, "Hey, you should talk to your friends."
Talk to your friends.
Like, no, we gotta go fight these fucking.
I think you're really
sand
like
people
if you
right
talk
now.
To these friends, you're gonna get a new quest.
And then it's always like a big long conversation, and then like. I feel bad not being like, but tell me why, Karth? Why are you feeling this way?
Because you feel like they are your friends.
So it's a good and a bad thing, I guess. But that was just another thing.
That's how Mass Effect pretty much is.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get more in. I started Mass Effect, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's
I
very
just know life.
Mass Effect very much has similar KOTOR vibes.
But it's more action RPG than it is like turn-based pick your attacks.
it's run and gun kind of.
I love it. I loved during the last mission. I just filled my party up with just Jedi people, and we just fucking stormed the gate with our lightsabers.
Yeah, because you get some Jedis, and then you get some regular people.
A Wookiee.
Yeah,
a couple droids.
Yeah, blaster people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a Mandalorian.
They have like
crew.
They have like a workaround for the swords where they're not lightsabers, but they're like vibro swords.
Vibro swords, yeah, and like and there are good ones, but like. At the beginning of the game, my advice to anybody starting this game, just use your gun on shit until you get a lightsaber.
Gun is better until you get lightsaber.
Until you get
switch to lightsaber.
Yeah, and play with your armor.
And you can get some really
Remember
good
to save.
Yeah.
This is a game that autosave does not happen a lot, and it's very random. And when you die, the game just puts you right back to the menu, so you gotta load in from your save.
You don't want to refight some fights.
But the good news is, you can, like Baldur's Gate, you can pretty much save anywhere. On the final boss, he has like 7 phases, and I just saved in between every stage. And then when I got him right where I wanted him, I just saved right before there. So like I'd never have to do the whole fight over. But the game, because you're gonna get just like me, just like how we all learn, you're gonna die somewhere, and you're gonna go back very far, and you're gonna be really mad at yourself.
And you're gonna feel bad, but then you're eventually gonna be like,
and
I
you
want to play
hate going in
game.
to save as much as you do have to,
right? Because then you feel like a bad video gamer.
Well, not even. I don't even think it's that. It's just you have to go into the menu, you have to go over to save, you have to save the game. Like there's a lot of for just.
It takes you out of it.
It takes you out of what you're doing, and you have to do it a lot, especially on that last level where you are just fighting. Because the bad guys in this game are usually like different kinds of aliens and whatever planet on it, but there's also Dark Jedi that you have to fight and Sith assassins, and the whole last level is just a fuck ton of them.
Yeah.
And because the Sith at this point in time, they're an entire army. Like there are Sith lords, like the lightsaber guys, but they basically just have like people with guns in armor that are Sith.
Yeah.
The whole game.
And I can't remember if you get the heal, you can just keep healing until you're all full health again, right?
I mean, you'll lose your force.
Right, and that takes a while to come back.
That takes time to reboost. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's also
I had a lot of healers on my team when I did.
Yeah, they're imperative.
I was so mad when I went to the final fight of the game, and I told Bastilla, I was like, "You stay here and do your meditation thing. I'll fight the last boss on my own," because I was like, "Oh fuck, I wish she was here."
The final fight took me so long because I was pretty heavily invested in the healer class,
mm-hmm.
and I also didn't bring the right people with me
mm-hmm.
to do the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a lot of moves that were like huge damage dealers on my main guy.
Oh wow!
I usually had
That's who you play with for
other
that fight.
Yeah, I usually have other party members.
I know. I was like,
be the damage dealers.
I didn't want Bastilla to come, but I thought my other two guys were coming with me.
So all I could do is I could heal myself pretty well, but he would just keep whacking me, and I could barely do anything against him. So it took me a long time to like.
Yeah. Well, dude,
kill him.
Let me tell you this. This is another story. It's a janky part of the game. So it takes me about an hour to complete the final boss fight when I played it. Of just like a lot of dying, but getting to a certain part, saving, whatever. But it was a hell of a fight. And my healing...
It's a tough fight.
I got there with pretty low force. So that's just where the save was. And I had a fuck ton of med packs, but they're slow. I had the life support one that gives you like a lot of shit. But I mean, I'm wearing those out that whole fight, just trying to get to each save.
Yeah, battle of attrition.
It's a fucking fight, and I'm trying to solve it. I finally get to the last one, and I mean, dude, my health is low. I have no med packs left. My force is kind of low, and I'm just thinking I'll have to go back a couple saves because there's no way I'm gonna get this. And I'm trying all sorts of different things. Every time the game loads in, he does something different. Like it's not like set.
He has a big moveset.
What he's gonna do isn't always the same. And I just finally started. I had a fuck ton of grenades. So I just start lobbing these things at this motherfucker. And it's slowly taking us out. All the grenades do different things. And there was one that was like, finally I threw it at him and it knocked him over. So it took him a second to like get up. So I was like, I can heal right now. And I had him. I threw a couple of those. He jumped over at me, but I knew I had him. Like I had 2 lightsabers. I had all my strength. I fucking cut this guy down as he's force lightning me. Big fight going on here, guys. I kill him. The cutscene starts. Now, when I kill him, my guy's health is down. Like there's one sliver of red. I just about died, but I'm like, I won. I beat him.
Right.
The Sith lightning has an effect where you will continue taking damage over time. So the janky part of this game was, I won. I beat the final boss. But
you got hit with the lightning.
I got hit with the lightning. So in the middle of a cutscene that's taking place, my guy just drops dead. It says my entire party's dead. And I was so fucking floored. I went right back into the fight from my save, though, and I was like, I'm going straight to those grenades that knock him over. I fucking smoked him in the next batch.
That's all it takes. You just have to find the one exploit that works because
and
he's very well tuned to
a lot of the
countering
bosses
most
have that
moves.
feature. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's an intense... For turn-based RPG lightsaber battling, it's fucking intense, scary, fun. I had a great time. You believe I was pissed off, though, when I died after I won.
That would infuriate me.
I almost called it. If it wouldn't have been easy to beat him the second time around, I would have been like, no, I beat the game. I'll just look up the cutscene. I fucking killed that guy.
Right.
But I came back and just slaughtered him. But there are a lot of bosses where like you'll go in once to fight them, they'll kick your candy ass, and then maybe you try a different technique and you will just mop the floor with them sometimes, and you're like, oh, that wasn't hard at all. That final boss is not like that. It was fucking hard.
Yeah,
but
like I said, he counters
challenging
most
but
things.
fair type of game. Challenging but fair.
Yes. If you just give a little bit of time for you to be bad, you'll eventually get through it and get to a point where you're having a lot more fun.
Great time, yeah. As soon as you get a lightsaber, entire game is just like way better.
And again, you start off sucking with the lightsaber too, but you get good real quick.
At least the lightsaber does damage. That's what I appreciated. I don't know. I feel like I had a lot of twists. Great story. Totally want to check out if you go full villain, what could happen? What you meet a lot of cool characters.
Yeah.
You do a lot of situations. Like on a lot of planets, I would kill that fucking organization. I can't remember what they're called, but like they were enslaving Wookiees, and I was like, let's kill these people,
those slave guys.
And we did, and that was fun. Like you just get to be a part of all these cool little stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's a main story you're working toward, but along the way, you're doing all these really fun things.
It's just you forget that video games could be written that well back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, they exist.
Yeah.
But
written that well, made just that fun to play.
That's why it does have, even though it is from 2003, it has a lot of jankiness associated with that. It's still like a timeless product.
Yeah.
I think people will still be playing it 20 years from now.
Oh, I'm dying. I keep hearing they're working on a remake, like an overhaul, like they've been doing.
So you don't have to trick your computer to make it anymore.
Absolutely, and play this game, but like way fucking better. Yeah. You better believe
Fix
I'm
all
on
the
board.
Performance issues.
And I'm sure they'd add shit to it. Like,
oh yeah,
it would be way more open. Like there's potential for a great remake because the game itself is. I totally get why it's considered one of, if not the best Star Wars video game.
It added so much to the lore too, like just.
Oh yeah, playing with the Force, playing with like the history of
different Force powers, different lightsabers. Like gets more into like the Jedi. Now I'm sure there's books also fleshing that out and stuff. But this is the first piece of media I saw with Old Republic stuff and how there used to be yellow lightsaber users.
It's cool, and you can mold colors. Like I had a purple one and a yellow one. Like I was just running through the game like that.
Oh yeah.
Different type of.
I forgot that there's like a whole crafting system associated with lightsabers.
Yeah. Because you can upgrade your items.
You can
and
put
shit.
Different crystals in them to make them different colors.
Yeah, dude, I could talk all day about this fucking game. I had a fantastic time. Fantastic. First couple hours, debated if I was gonna keep playing, but there was something about it that drew me in.
If you can push through the first 4 to 5 hours of the game, I think it'll suck you in. It's just getting past that first 4 to 5 hours, which not a lot of people want to commit that much time to see if they like something.
But honestly, now I'd go back to that beginning and like it a lot more now that I know what I'm doing, for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of the frustration comes from not initially knowing what to do and being weak as shit.
Yeah. And the same thing I said about Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate's amazing.
Yeah.
My only thing about this game series too is that I can keep thinking is I can't believe there's only one sequel and there's no other Star Wars games that play like this game at all.
Yeah, they haven't even tried.
Right. So like what? Like I get they're talking about making this remake, but like why isn't there any more Star Wars games like with the Dungeons and Dragons gameplay style?
I feel like they just tried to make it more like Call of Duty than like.
And like I like all Star Wars games. I like most of the Star Wars games. I just feel like there should be more like this kind, and especially with how popular and renowned the Knights of the Old Republic is. You'd think they'd be like, let's do another game that plays like that.
Yeah.
But they haven't, so it's wild. Maybe it's because they know when they finally do drop it, especially now that Baldur's Gate's out there, it's gonna be the biggest fucking shit anybody's ever taken. So yeah, I played Knights of the Old Republic. Clearly, I had a good time. I'm so glad you played it too. So we could go back.
Like I said, I wish I remembered what it was up till this point, but I think it was good. I was surprised.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good.
I'm glad you finally got into that.
I'm so glad I did.
You need to get back into Mass Effect.
Yep. Don't worry.
If you're missing this, the feeling that game gave you, I think Mass Effect will give you something similar, except it's not turn-based. It's just,
I have it. I bought Mass Effect on my Steam Deck actually, so I plan on playing it. I actually am working on 2 games right now that I'm going to save for the next podcast. I'm working through a bunch of games. Mass Effect's definitely on that list that I'm trying to get done because no new games are coming out that I want to play till about August. So I'm using this time near end of August to play like all these games I've always wanted to play. And just a little, spoiler, but not. I've never played Fable, so I started Fable, and I'm playing Batman Arkham Asylum.
I think I saw you play that too.
I just started it after I finished Star Wars. As soon as I finished it, I loaded that up because I want to get that. Because
I've never played Fable 1. I have played Fable 2 and Fable 3. Okay. Fable 2 is one of my favorite games.
I've heard nothing but great things about these games forever since I was a kid, and I finally was like, same with Batman. Like I rented it once and played it, and I did like it, but that's all I knew about it. So I'm working slowly because they're not long games. No. So I'm working slowly. Like Star Wars was like
they're not long games.
Star Wars was like a 40-hour commitment.
They're not long games, but there's a lot to do in the game, and there's a lot of like fuck around mechanics that you can do in the game. Where like you don't have to play the main quest line. Yeah. You can become.
I'm down with.
Yeah. You can become a landlord. You can get a job.
Yeah.
At a city, you can get married and have kids.
Yeah. So right, and I'm still very beginning of the game, but those are 2 like games on my list right now of games that like I wish I would have played sooner, but now I'm playing them now. Just like Knights of the Old Republic.
Better late than never, and
and I'll report on those.
Yeah, it gives you an experience that I'm sure a lot of people wish they could relive.
Sure.
Playing these games the first time.
Yeah. So look forward. I'm hoping I'll definitely be done with Fable by the next episode. We'll see if I get some Batman finished by then too, but that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, I've also played through Arkham Asylum, and it is also a great game.
I know, and that's why I gotta play them. So that's where I'm at in my life right now, just playing through these games that I've heard are awesome that I missed when I was young. I was never gonna understand KOTOR when I was 11, dude.
No, there's
no
way.
Fucking way.
I would have played the first hour, been like, this sucks. I can't play this. I'm just terrible.
Yeah.
And give up.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did with games when I was young.
Man, it makes sense. I'm just glad I got back to it. So, Braden, I could go on and on and on about video games, but you have a movie that's been a mystery that the shitters have been sitting on for about an hour and a half.
So I mentioned that what do you want to take another guess? I'll keep giving you hints.
You said it was a 90s movie?
It was a 90s movie.
Okay, yeah. Give me a hint.
It was a 90s movie.
Okay.
And you would be reminded of this 90s movie today.
Okay. Today specifically, or more yesterday?
In recent weeks.
Recent weeks.
There's been a lot of pop culture buzz about this new movie that's coming out. That is a remake of an old 90s movie.
Oh, God. Okay, yes. Oh, what is it? Gladiator. Gladiator 2.
No.
Oh, fuck. Gladiator came out in 2000.
Think Bunker. Think...
Oh, right, Bunker.
Storm Shelter, maybe?
Twisters.
Yeah.
You saw Twister.
I saw the original Twisters.
You watched Twister.
This is the first time I've watched it since I was a kid. Probably between 7 and 11 years old. Just a kid.
Just a kid.
A kid.
Yeah.
So
I was 6 when it came out. I think I was 5.
Yeah. I keep seeing all these advertisements for the new Twister movie, and it looks really good.
Looks good.
And so I wanted to see if the old movie held up, because I haven't seen it in so long. Just like I do with Jurassic Park every once in a while.
It does.
It does. It has that 90s cheesy classic feel, but like you take everyone seriously, but it's still kind of lighthearted.
Yeah.
In like a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like you're just having fun the whole time, even though the twisters are scary.
As an adult, this movie is way more fun. As a kid, it was like a horror movie.
It was
to me.
Yeah, it was a horror movie to me, but as an adult, I was just cheesing the whole time.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time with the movie. And I think the new one's gonna be like that too. I think
they can capture the vibe for it.
Thursday.
Because the entire time I was watching it, I was trying to figure out what I like about it so much. Because like there wasn't one element I could necessarily pin down. It's like the same reason why I like movies like Independence Day so much. Where if they made like they did try to remake the Independence Day movies, like they just sound like they suck. I'm like, so what was about this era that like these movies were just cool? I mean, nostalgia definitely.
They're fun. I mean, they're just fun movie.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it, which I completely forgot, but he's like their like funny weird friend.
Yeah.
He's great. Like all the side characters are just fun, even though you don't really know much about any of the characters beyond like the main Bill and I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember their name.
She's in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Katie Hudson.
No. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Don't. I'm bad at naming actors, so especially 90s ones. But yeah, it's just you don't really know much about any of these other characters, but you still enjoy seeing them on the screen and seeing their camaraderie.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that there is a whole plot with like his like new fiance was with them for like a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about that. I just remembered them as always being together and like never breaking up. But in this movie, the main guy, Bill, and I forget her name, the blonde woman who's the main girl, used to be together and used to be storm chasers. He broke up with her or like left her and has a new fiance now, and he's basically just going to see his ex-wife to make her sign the divorce papers because she hasn't signed the divorce papers and has been like blowing them off. And he brings his fiance with her, and when he visits her, he gets swept up into being a storm chaser again because he left.
Love that segue.
Yeah,
Gets swept up.
He like left the storm chaser life, but he like you can tell like he wants back in it. But like his new fiance is a therapist and isn't about the storm chaser life. She doesn't like deny it for him, but it's just like a different world from her, and so he tries to be normal for her, but it ends up like
Joe. Her name is Joe.
Joe, that's right. And he ends up taking his fiance along. And like throughout the course of the movie,
Helen Hunt.
Yeah, it's made clear that Joe and Bill are still in love with each other, even though they bicker and fight all the time.
Yeah.
But his fiance is just cool with it, and she's like, you know what? get back together with your ex-wife. I'm going to get out because this is a toxic situation for me, but you guys deserve to be together. And, like, that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was a pretty cool...
little story in a fucking movie about tornado chasing.
Yeah, a little letdown. Just like, yeah, he's belongs back here. Also forgot that there's the whole subplot of, like, they have, like, rival storm chasers played by Carrie Elwes, who, like, follows them around everywhere. And, like, so, like, Bill's whole character is that, like, he can predict where tornadoes are gonna go. He has, like, a sixth sense around him.
Sure.
And so, like, he wrote a bunch of books on it. And, like, there's this other storm chaser that he tries to get, like, all the clout and fame for it. So he just follows their group wherever they think, like, Bill's gonna go, because they know he knows where the tornado's gonna go.
Yeah.
And they try and get, like, the research data first, because they're, like, studying the tornadoes to, like, put something up inside of it to, like, take data.
Right.
Because they said at this point in history,
that's the whole movie, really.
Yeah, at this point in history, they haven't been able to study what the inside of a tornado is like.
Yeah. Why that's important?
Yeah.
No, who cares? The movie doesn't want to tell you, but...
Well, it's so they can, like, predict where the tornadoes are gonna hit.
That's fair.
Because, like...
Well, that's what the movie
Yeah,
does,
in the opening scene, Helen Hunt, Joe, she's just, like, a little girl in Tornado Alley, and an F5 tornado
kills her dad,
and they hide in a storm shelter.
Yeah. Which...
that scene terrified me as a little boy.
Oh, sure, yeah. The whole movie is fucking crazy as a kid.
And there's, like, a dog that, like, he goes back to save, and I'm like, why didn't they take the dog in the first place?
They never do, man. Never do. And then ultimately, she... I jumped to the end of the movie, but I love that Joe and Bill Paxton...
Joe, he just plays Bill Paxton.
He just plays. His name is Bill. He's Bill. It was a perfect role for him.
Yeah.
They are in the inside. They see the inside and center of a tornado, and they live through it.
Yep.
And that part of the movie I don't like. I hope the second one doesn't do something like that. Like, I get why it's in the movie.
I know the second movie
they're
is
just
about,
like holding on.
They're, like, trying to stop a tornado. They're trying to, like, neutralize a tornado.
The trailers for the new one look fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've always laughed at the end of Twister where they're just, like, in a tornado, but they live through it.
They, like, tie themselves off onto, like, a pipe in the ground.
They just hold themselves down.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's realistic. It's just... the way it's shot, the way it's filmed is kind of funny to me, but... You
know, and they also don't get slacked by debris, just, like, nails flying through the air or anything.
They're as lucky as that bitch from Godzilla -1.
Just
all the debris in the world.
Just has a hurt eye and some scrapes and scratches, but she's fine.
You'll have that. What else do you like about Twister, man? It's a great movie.
I don't know. It was just the music was really good. You just feel hopeful the whole time, even though there are really scary moments. All the characters are just giving, like, a really good performance where you just, like...
The effects hold up.
Those
Twisters look good.
Yeah, the cow, like I said, they're still
scary.
The cow's flying through the air. I forgot that happened much earlier in the movie than it did. I thought that was the F5 one. But that's just, like, one of the tornadoes that they see. It's just, it takes a cow.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah.
But yeah, great classic. Definitely holds up.
Makes tornadoes are scary, but, like, this movie, like, there's so many. It's just this fucking apocalypse of tornadoes.
Which they explain it away in the beginning of, like, they show one brief scene that doesn't have anything to do with anything else, but it's just, like, in the weather center where they're, like, people are going over weather data and are saying, like, this is going to be one of the worst tornado seasons we've seen.
Yeah.
So that's why there's just so many tornadoes all the time. Yeah.
I think that feel that we were talking about, I hate to say it like this, but it just has that, what I consider to be all-American feel.
Americana, would you say?
It's a very North American feel type of movie. The energy. Same with Independence Day. Just that fun feel. Yeah. I don't know. Especially when these movies came out in the 90s, like a time where, like, things weren't as bad as they are, and things weren't as bad as they were.
Like, even the disaster movies had, like, optimistic twists to it.
Yeah.
That's why I just felt during this time.
Yeah.
And it's not like the stakes are, like, they're scientists trying to study tornadoes because they don't want tornadoes to kill people. And so they want to be able to predict them and track them so they can give, like, their whole thing was they want to shorten the early warning system by 15 minutes to give people 15 extra minutes to evacuate. Because Joe's family didn't have any warning before the tornado hit.
Yeah.
And that's how her dad died. So the stakes seem much higher in the remake, where they're literally trying to stop tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even with that, like, they don't need to be out here doing this. They don't need to go near these tornadoes.
No, they could just stay safe somewhere.
They're doing it for their career.
Dude, and another thing, like, thinking of this movie as a kid, too, like, these tornadoes that made it so scary was, like, I think I remembered it as a movie that these tornadoes kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they do, but, like, none of the main characters, like, I saw it as, like, a horror movie where, like, it's just a movie where tornadoes get
Yeah,
people.
they just show up and kill people randomly.
But, like, that doesn't really happen. Most of the main characters survive the entire movie.
There is, like, a horror movie moment when the F5 is about to show up, because they mentioned earlier in the movie where they're like explaining to the fiance character, because she's supposed to be like the audience stand-in of like that. They explain storm chasing to her, and they explain like the categories of tornado, like F1, F2, F3, and she's like, has there ever been an F5? And like there's like a hush that falls over the dinner table, and they say like only one of us have seen an F5, and they like implying Joe, the thing that killed her dad. And then like later on in the movie, right around when the fiance's about to dump his ass, like the storm's rolling, and they're like, an F5 is coming. It's like scary. It's like, yeah, the F, like the F, it's like the F5 heard them and like like appeared.
Yeah, that's true. That's a funny way of looking at that.
Yeah, it's like it kind of what, like, you know, it's man versus nature.
Yeah,
it was just an unusually bad tornado season, like they said at the Weather Channel.
Yeah, how they set it all up. Yeah, makes it all believable.
Yeah, and it works.
I think it's got a good soundtrack too.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah, very 90s.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again before I see the new one, because it's probably been about 10 years now since I've seen Twister, but I do want to. I've always liked it, even though it used to scare me as a kid. Once I got past the kid part of it, I've always been like, that's
it won't scare you as an adult.
Fun flick, yeah,
especially as a 90s movie.
Yeah,
but yeah, the effects are still really good. And besides that, you're just like having a fun time.
Yeah,
I'd say most of the movie is not super dire.
Yeah,
even though like they're dealing with these apocalyptic.
They're chasing tornadoes.
There's like a one point where like it hits the town that like her grandmother's at, that like they had dinner at one of the scenes before where they talked about the F5.
Yeah,
and so that was kind of scary. But then like they
make it.
Yeah, they're fine.
Everybody's good.
Yeah,
they saved the day.
Most people, there aren't really many people who actually die on screen.
Yeah,
in this movie.
And honestly, the tornadoes just kind of stop. They don't really beat the tornadoes.
No, it's just they beat the tornado by having it suck up their little sensor ball things so they could take all the data. That was the end of the movie. There was like, we got so much data from that.
It's like an episode of Ghost Adventures with tornadoes.
Basically like ghost tornadoes, yeah.
The problem really wasn't solved, but they at least got some information.
Yeah, like it was a good step in the right direction. But that was it.
And then it took almost 30 years to be like, here's the second movie. Yeah. Here's what they did with it, maybe.
We figured out how to actually stop the tornadoes.
I've been looking forward to this one since I saw the first trailer. I was like, that looks good.
Yeah.
That looks like a good
They made a whole ass country song.
Yeah, they did.
They
did. What's more American than that?
Just to tie this in to A Quiet Place, when we went to the drive-in, they played a bunch of previews, and they played the music video for that country song that they made for Twister, and then they show a few more unrelated ads, and then they play the trailer for the Twister movie again. They play the whole music video, 3-minute music video.
Where did you see this at?
Moonlight Drive-In in Brookville.
Oh my god, they really fucking dicked you along.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was like, we basically saw 2 ads for the Twister movie at the drive-in.
Oof. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's being heavily marketed towards the rural folk.
Which are
like us.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going, so I will definitely be seeing it.
You guys know what fields are like. This movie has a shit ton of fields.
And we're driving trucks in those fields.
Yeah, and we're going to make a country song just for you fuckers.
So we're going to see that. I don't know if we said, by the way, this is Chase's Chad Skripek.
And this is Brad and Brad Neilster. We did not say it.
We didn't, so I thought that'd be a fun little addition. At this point. in the podcast. Yeah. So,
By the way,
in case you forgot.
so yeah, Twister was a delight to rewatch. I guess it's something that I'm probably gonna do like
More
I do
often.
with more often like I do with Jurassic Park, where like I give it a few years, but every once in a while I'll watch the whole thing again and be like, yep, that's still amazing.
Yeah. I gotta do that with Jurassic Park soon here too. But I definitely think one day this week I will watch Twister before I go see the Twisters, because I just need
I would
brief
recommend
refresher.
rewatching it. Yeah, have a little refresher. You'll have a fun time with it. It's
Good.
always fun revisiting 90s movies.
Yeah.
Independence Day has been on Hulu, and I've been trying to convince Kaylee to watch it with me so badly.
She's never seen it?
No, she has seen it.
Oh, yeah.
She likes it. It's just usually there's other movies we want to watch at the time.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I've seen Gladiator, but I do need to watch it again before I see they just put the trailer out for Gladiator 2.
I saw the trailer for Gladiator too, yeah.
So
That
I need to refresh on the first one. Before
guy from Quiet Place is in that too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's one of the emperors.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He is
Like I said,
blowing up.
he blew up in everything,
Well,
like
hey.
overnight seemingly.
If Gladiator 2 gets as much popularity, I don't know, acclaim as the first one did, then I'd say, we're going to see a lot of that guy then.
And they made it clear it's the son of the emperor in the first one that is the main character
That is
in this one.
implied to be the actual son of Russell Crowe's character.
Right.
And I think in this movie, I think they've already announced that it is his.
Yeah.
I think they just finally confirmed.
That was something that was always ambiguous in
Yeah.
the first one.
And
but
I think they're saying, no, it is now. You waited 20 years.
We're a sequel now. We're just coming out right and saying, yeah, we need to connect this to the first movie. So
He's his son.
yeah.
So.
We say it.
Here we go. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I do want to do like an episode of this when that movie comes out, and maybe do just talk both movies, because Gladiator 1's a great movie.
If Denzel Washington's in it, then you know it's probably going to be good, because
I
he
imagine.
doesn't just attach his name to anything.
Good cast, good looking cast. Like, I don't really recognize the guy playing Maximus's son, the main character, but I recognize Denzel Washington. I recognize Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I recognize people in this, and they're pretty big names. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Gladiator. So that's something to look forward to in the future of this podcast.
Yep.
But that is really all we have on the new nerd shit field today.
All we have in that front.
and that's all we're doing today.
We don't have anything else.
Nothing
We've
else.
already talked for an hour and 50 minutes. What more could you want?
What more could you want? So we decided to hold off to just nerd out for an episode again on
Yeah.
a main topic. But we have plans coming up. We are hopefully. I hate telling everybody the plans because we never stick to them.
Yeah.
But I'd like to at least give you an idea that they are coming. The Matrix episode is coming. I just don't know
That
when.
is happening.
Let's stop putting a next time on that one.
Yeah.
But possibly for the next time might be when we get Amber and we're going to talk about High School Musical 2 for a main topic. So we got that to work on. We just came up with the monster. We're making plans for you, shitters. So don't you worry. There's
Yeah.
a storyline here.
Just
to follow.
hold up and hold tight there.
Hold tight there.
Hold tight. Hold fast.
Yeah.
Hold hard.
We'll nerd shit in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. You got anything you need to say?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shitters, remember to follow, like, subscribe, all that crazy shit. Tell people about us. I know I'm saying it very like, but it's just like I feel like I need to say it, but I feel like it's a lame thing to say. But
Yeah.
I do want to say it because getting the word out on us.
Smash that like button.
We like seeing
Smash
that
that
shit.
subscribe button.
We had a good time. You
Write
can
a good
email
review.
us.
Write a 5-star review.
Write a 5-star review, please.
Send us money, maybe.
No.
No, okay, we're not supposed- we're not there yet.
We're not even close to
Okay,
there yet,
yeah,
dude.
no,
But
no.
We'll send you. No, we won't send you money to listen to us. But like, I that's how I feel. I would, shitter. So just get people listening. Email us at nerdshitinthedark@gmail.com.
It's money to our ears seeing those view counts.
It really is. It
Even
really
though we,
is.
we don't make any money.
When
off
I
of this.
see, yeah, no, none. But
is
that's not your problem.
raw and from the heart.
From the heart.
We
Just-
do this because we love it, not for the monetary
that's
incentive.
right. But it'd be cool to make some money.
Oh man, yeah.
But, so to get there, we need more people. So tell your friends, okay, please, okay.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your
so-
parents.
Tell your husbands. That's nerd shit in the dark.
That is nerd shit in the
Good
dark.
night,
Sleep tight,
and don't let the shit bugs bite.
And I love you.
He does love you. Good night.
Good night.